Glasses, no glasses. Glasses, no glasses. Glasses. Kind of makes me look a little smarter, so nah. Welcome. So you want to take your kid turkey hunting. It's a pretty complicated subject. It's a little more difficult than taking them fishing and stuff like that. Turkey hunting is something that I'm new to. I've only been doing it a couple years. This is my second season I just completed. Have not gotten a turkey yet. It's definitely more challenging than some other outdoor activities that I've done. You know, turkey hunting is done in all sorts of ways. You can be kind of static in one place with decoys, and then you can basically spot and stalk. You're calling to them and trying to find them. It's actually very interesting. I love turkey hunting because it is fairly dynamic in that regard. So kids, there's a lot of things to consider when you're talking about your kids, or kids in general. Kids are fidgety, they're loud. Basically everything that a kid does is not conducive for successful hunting most of the time. The main thing when it comes to taking a kid turkey hunting or your kid turkey hunting is make sure that it's fun and have low expectations. Bring your expectations way down. I took my oldest last year for the first time. He was 3 and we were in a blind, and it's basically just let's go hang out time. Yes, I do have some equipment. I did set out some decoys. I did some calling, and if the dumbest bird on earth came through, I was gonna shoot it. But that never happened, and I didn't think it was gonna happen. And it was the same scenario this year. So first couple hunts this year with my son, expectations low. We had a lot of fun, get them involved, and we'll go into some of that in just a minute. But what was I thinking? What was I going? That's the whole. I have paper to keep me on track, and I lose track. So this year, we worked out of a blind a couple times. So we started in a blind, and then we went to like a little, not a pop-up blind, but I have it written down, a stakeout blind. Basically what I'm saying is have low expectations. My opinion is get them out in the woods for a year or two, kind of get them accustomed to it and what you do and what you don't do, and then ease them into the hunting experience. I honestly wouldn't just throw my kid out there with a 410 and he's never been out before and all that stuff. You know, I want him to have a couple seasons under their belts before they actually go hunting themselves. So, but for right now, I'm just kind of training my oldest to get used to the woods. We have lots of fun. That's very important, have lots of fun, and we go from there. So let's jump right into it. I just said the first two things. Keep it fun. The first two most important things. Keep it fun and have low expectations. Those are probably the two most important things. Of course, I've talked about it many times before. Whenever you have kids, always bring water and food. That's it. You know, forget the gun, forget the decoys, all that stuff. No water, no food, no fun. You know, the best time that I've found to take my son out with me, now he's not hunting, I'm hunting, but he's along with me, is mid-morning or afternoons. Those are very easy times to transition to. You wake up, you're not in a rush, and you get to have breakfast, the kid is fed, you get out to your hunting area, and you go from there. So if you got a cranky, whiny, tired child in the morning, don't go. Leave him at home. And that's what I know about my oldest. He does not like to get up early. He likes to be well rested and all that stuff. So we're gonna be afternoon hunters most likely, afternoon hunting partners. My youngest, on the other hand, man, first thing he wakes up in the morning, he's happy and go lucky. So, you know, he may be my morning hunting partner, and then my oldest will be my afternoon hunting partner. Just keep that in mind. I find that the mid-morning and afternoon hunts are gonna be an easier place to start to get those kids out in the woods and having fun with you turkey hunting. I think another important part, of course, is what style of hunting are you doing? Are you sitting with decoys, or are you moving around? Searching for the turkeys. I think the most effective way is to search for the turkeys. You know, if you don't know exactly where they're at, you search for them, and that's a very fun way and effective way to actually be a successful turkey hunter. With kids, it's not as realistic, especially younger ones trampling through the woods. They're slower, they're louder. Success is gonna be a lot less. You're gonna get frustrated, they're gonna get tired and frustrated. So I would set up a situation where you're in place in a blind, pop-up blind, or a fixed structure blind, something that is well hidden, can hide movement from the child, and a little bit of noise as well. I definitely recommend hunting in a blind of some sort. A pop-up blind, a physical blind, or a stakeout blind. And I pretty much always use a stakeout blind if I'm out there by myself. I get set up in areas, put up the stakeout blind, and good to go. You can also hunt in like a box blind. I have done that with my oldest, and it works really well. We don't ever see turkeys, but you know, they're out in the woods with me for the most part, and they're having a good time. I think my ideal scenario is to have like a pop-up blind in an area early in the season where you know where the turkeys are at and where they're gonna come into. That would be ideal. I mean, that would be spot on ideal. I don't tend to do a lot of scouting ahead of time. The next season I am. I'm not messing around next season. I'm gonna get one. I've never gotten one. I'm gonna get a turkey next season, but I'm gonna do a ton of scouting ahead of time. So you just wait. So fun things to keep it interesting. Let them carry some equipment, some decoys if they're big enough. Don't make them carry it the whole time, but just long enough to keep them interested. And as they're carrying stuff, if they say, oh, I'm tired, they start to get whiny, then just take it from them. Don't take too much stuff where you're relying on your kid to get all the stuff there and all the stuff back, or you know what I mean, like plan for that. If you can't carry it all, don't take it. If they're hot and they're sweaty, they got bugs all over them and they don't want to carry something, you got to carry it. Just make sure they're always having a good time. So I'm gonna list off a couple things that are great that you need to bring. If you're not in a box blind with chairs, you need to have a seat for your child, or you need to have a seat for your kid. It's not fair for you to have a nice, comfy, relaxing seat and then have them sit on the dirt. Or you can just give them the seat and you can sit on the dirt. I've done that before. Camo and boots, you know, just regular stuff. Make sure they do have camouflage. Make sure they do have some nice boots. I have taken my son out one time with, most of the time he's in jeans and like a camo t-shirt, and that's fine. I mean, and as long as they have like a head thing, like a camo hat thing that covers their face or whatever, I've got pictures and video, that's fine. You know, my son loves to have the camo on. He likes to match me. He likes to have boots that are camo and all that good stuff. It makes them feel involved and on the same playing field as you if they have some of the same equipment. And the camouflage works. You don't have to spend a ton, man. Just, you know, go buy some camo from Walmart or Amazon. The headgear or the head camo, I don't know what the heck those things, like a face mask basically. I will let my son wear one of those. It helps mask some of the movement, and then we follow that up with some face paint, which is a fun activity to do together to keep them busy while you're out there. I'm just as I'm just as guilty as anybody when I do take my son out, whether we're in a box blind or we're in a behind the stakeout blind in the actual woods. I bring my phone with headphones. Yes, I do let my son either play some games or watch some YouTube while we're out there hunting. Not for long periods of time, usually for about 15-minute stints, and we'll take a break, you know, we'll take all that off. But he's got headphones, he's got the phone itself, and it keeps him busy. My oldest is 4, you can't expect them to stay still for a couple hours, right? I mean, they need to have something preoccupying their time. The entertainment, the phone, the music or whatever, for small segments of time, I think is okay. We take a break, and if I've been sitting for an hour or so, I can't sit for very long. So we'll take a break and maybe get up and walk for a minute and kind of stretch our legs, and then we'll sit back down. Just little things like that. Sometimes toys. My oldest has brought like a little shovel before. He sat there digging while we're in, while we're hunting. There's all sorts of things. Of course, this turkey season usually correlates with springtime, unless you're in some states where you have fall seasons. But springtime down here in the South is when mosquitoes and no-see-ums and ticks and all that good stuff come out. Bug spray is important. Very important. Some places are worse than others. I mean, if I know a spot is going to be horrible for the flies, for the mosquitoes and the ticks, I'm not going to take my kid there. I may suffer through it if I think it's worth it, but not my kid. So my kid's going to get the best experience possible. Remember, they're early on. We're trying to set them up to enjoy these experiences so that they'll want to come back. Thermacell, of course, Thermacell is pretty good product to use. I wouldn't say that it's 100% depending on how thick the mosquitoes are, because I've been out there where the mosquitoes are so thick, it didn't matter what you had. But I had bug spray, Thermacell, and they were still all over me. The best thing is to layer. Face paint is another good way to keep your kid entertained, your child entertained, and also provide more camouflage, so it's useful. We love to just kind of wipe it on each other and play around a little bit while we're just sitting in the woods. Ear protection, that's another one. Always bring ear protection. for your kid. The other fun thing to do is let them make some calls, not while you're out in the woods hunting. My son loves to do the slate call. So before, you know, at home, or even on the car ride home, or on the car ride there, let them do some calling. I definitely wouldn't blow up your spot letting them call, or let the birds hear what you're doing, you know what I mean? But at some point, you know, the kids are gonna show interest in the calling, and I'd let them do some calling too. Let them nap, that's a big one. If they're tired, let them nap. Nothing wrong with that. They're quiet, they're still. The last thing I want to talk about is just to maybe play afterwards. So once the hunt is done, you're back to the car, get some water, get a little snack, and just play around. You know, there's no rush to get back home. Enjoy the time together. The thing that brings me the greatest joy is when my son, and he actually has said this isn't making it up, he wants to go hunting with me. He wants to spend time with me in the woods, and that is amazing. And I'll be honest, I'm not perfect when I'm out there. Yes, I bark at him sometimes when he's walking, and it's like snap, twig, snap, snap, crunch, crunch. And he's like, he forgets, and he's like, hey daddy. And you're like, oh, shh, be quiet. And I'm kind of hard on him a little bit. But he always, you know, he forgets that. Your kids love you, and they enjoy that time out there with you. So play with them, take some time afterwards. We've brought some toys and just played out there before we get in the car and come home. And all that stuff is very memorable. It's what they'll remember. And it's what creates those feelings of joy and happiness that they hold on to and remember and want to come back and do some more. So the goal, of course, is to keep, I don't want to say train, but it's for him to get used to being in the woods over a couple years, couple times a year, and then he knows what to do, what he can't do, what he can do, and what the expectations are when he's in the wood and he is hunting. So that's the ultimate goal, is to get him to where he is hunting and he's enjoying it as well. But that's it. Like I said, take your kids, get them out there. Doesn't have to be turkey hunting. This is very similar to the fishing. Just get them outside. The whole purpose I really want for some of these videos is to encourage you to try things. It's okay to take your kids turkey hunting with you. It's okay to take them fishing. Even if you suck at it, like I do, just get them out there. You're gonna create memories. Those are the most precious things, are the memories that you'll make together, spending that time together. It doesn't matter about the fish. It doesn't matter about the turkey. It just matters about you spending time with your kids and your family. You'll never regret it, ever. So just get out there, try it, and I just hope this is and I just hope that this is an encouragement to you.